Hey, Selma. This week we are talking about community, engaging community as family. And that is a beautiful ideal to kind of look up to. And we'll talk about in our personal times about how God is our Father, our true Father, and allowing that to rest deeply in our souls, the love that God has for us, and then how that shapes love for us as a community. That essentially, Christian community could better be described as God's family, in which all relationships exist underneath God's good grace, compassion, mercy, forgiveness, all of that good stuff. Here's the challenge though. Our our lives are products of earthly families that are not like God's family. And so for us to truly engage and begin to walk out into a life of Christian community where we live as the family of God, one thing that's really important that we often miss is just evaluating the family system and the heritage that we even came from. And one of the ways to do that is with a resource called the Genogram, which is like a family tree, except instead of just tracking your genealogy, you're going to track the relational dynamics through your family tree. And so you can go to saturate or somaculvercity.com/sent together, and you'll be able to download a PDF template that will help you create something like this. This is just an example. I didn't want to share my own family history on a video, but what you'll do is you'll draw out and you'll carve kind of your relationships. I recommend even going back to grandparents, or great grandparents, sorry, so you can see how family dynamics got played out in the past. It describes symbols of describing death and accidents. There's symbols for describing relational situations about how, the squiggly line is a broken relationship. A dotted line is a non-existent relationship. These slashes are divorce. You can kind of begin to walk through that, and then the next steps are to identify themes or earthquake moments that kind of shook your immediate family and changed maybe even how people relate to each other. And so I want you to take this time. It's one of the ways to process your own story. Take your time to do that work, and then in your DNA groups this week, you will process, and we have questions for you to just sort of understand how that impacts the way you engage community and how Jesus can actually redeem that as you walk into community. And so I hope you take the time to do that work, to download that PDF template, follow the instructions, do the best you can, and then engage with others in community in that safe space that is our DNA groups. Hope you have a blessed time doing it, even though it's challenging, I'm sure. And we'll get back together and we'll share how God's working through our lives in our missional communities and in our gatherings over the next several weeks. Thanks, Soma. Hope this helps.